You have something special. You are uncommon. One great American said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I don't wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. That's what it means to be a part of multi-level marketing, an uncommon desire to live your dream and control your destiny. There's something in you. It says that you're not sitting back waiting to see what politicians will do for you. There's something in you that says, I'm not going to focus on the general economy. I want to focus on my personal economy. There's something in you that says the most dependable hand in the world is the one at the end of your risk. There's something in you that says always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. You are different. You have greatness within you. Dr. Howard Thurman, come forth. Here's a man that after having 238 radiation seed implants, and my PSA continued to increase. In fact, last year this time it was over 1,500, and the little C cancer had eaten 40% of my T1 vertebrae. And I was reading his words that night after leaving Florida Hospital, and doctors had told me that cancer had reappeared, had metastasized in 8 areas of my body. And I began to laugh as the doctor spoke to me, and he was looking real serious. He said, why are you laughing? I said, I feel like Mother Teresa. He said, what do you mean? She said, Lord, I know you know how much I can bear. I wish you didn't have so much confidence in me. And now my PSA is 0.0. I'm debt-free, cancer-free. Yes, indeed. I stand before you because of God's grace and mercy. And trust me, it's better to be seen than to be viewed. But Dr. Thurman was called upon by Dr. Martin Luther King Sr. He said, Howard, I want you to mentor my boy, MLK. He was a member of an elite group of orators and mystics and philosophers in his day. He was an advisor to Mahatma Gandhi and to Abbott Schweitzer. He wrote, Deep is the hunger, the voice of the genuine, the centering moment. He wrote some words that I was reading around 3 o'clock in the morning that grabbed me. He said, the ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. He said, but imagine being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and you, for whatever reason, you never pursued those dreams. You never used those talents. You never used those gifts. You never used those abilities. And there they are standing around your bed looking at you with large angry eyes saying, we came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever. And the question is, if you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what books, what leadership, what voice, what story will die with you? Miles Monroe, great speaker out of the Bahamas, said the wealthiest place on the planet, it's not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. He said the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery. There you'll find potential never realized. There you'll find books never written. There you'll find abilities and skills and talents and gifts that the world never had exposure to. Maybe that's why Henry David Thoreau asked in a moment of anguish, what if you live your whole life only to discover that it was wrong? That it was wrong. That God had so much more in mind for you. Maybe that's why he said, oh God, to reach the point of death, only to realize that you've never lived. Only to realize that you've never scraped the surface of your potential. Everybody let us say together, live full, die empty. And the people in this room have decided to live full. The people in this room have decided to die empty. The people in this room have decided to live life on their terms and not to be a volunteer victim. When you say yes to this industry, you're saying yes for a bigger life. You're saying yes, I'm tired of playing small. You're saying yes, I'm ready to be empowered to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. You're saying yes to providing for yourself and your family. There's something that's in you that says, I'm not mentally fit to work for somebody for the rest of my life. You're saying yes to your life, yes to your dreams, yes to your unfolding future. Give yourselves a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. I didn't do this for years. I would go in the balcony of auditoriums and watch Jim Rohn and Dr. Dennis Waitley and Zig Ziglar. And my heart would beat so fast because I love helping people. How many of you love helping people? Raise your hands. I love helping people. And my heart said, I can do that. But then when I would leave there, and as I was walking to the car, my mental conditioning began to speak. And it would say, Les Brown, you can't do that. You don't have a college education. Les Brown, you can't do that. What makes you think that you have something to say that somebody would listen to you? Les Brown, you can't do that. What makes you think that you can speak for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, IBM? You've never worked for a major corporation. Les Brown, you can't do that. You were adopted. You don't even know who your parents are. How many of you ever thought about something you wanted to do? You felt it in your heart, and then your mind talked you out of it. Raise your hands, please. I convinced myself that I couldn't do it. I learned something from that experience. Whenever there's an argument between your heart and your mind, follow your heart. There are things that the heart can understand and feel that the mind cannot relate to. Maybe that's why my favorite book says, lean not unto thine own understanding, and all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. There are things that you feel, that you know in your heart of hearts, that's not logical, it's not practical, it's not realistic, but there's something in you that says, I can do this. I can do this. After facing defeats and disappointments and failures again and again and again, there's still something in you that says, I can do this. Operating out of a thinking when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because when you can look up, you can get up. I can do this. I can do this. When you present and people say, oh yes, I'd like to be a part of that. Yes. They have the personality and they need it and they don't show up. You end up being a babysitter. You have to be a counselor and a psychologist and a minister. They challenge you to pray to Jesus and Yahweh and Melchizedek and Buddha. And they'll get on your last nerve, have you chanting, Nome Yoho Renge Kyo. It's interesting when you talk to people about securing their future. And you can't help them to become actively engaged in their own life. A friend of mine named Lorraine had me to come to do an intervention with her brother that was addicted to drugs, and he told us to get out of his house. And as we were going down the steps, I said, I'm sorry I failed. I'm so disappointed. And she said something that I'll never forget. I want you to remember. She said, Les, most people won't participate in their own rescue. Wow. Most people won't participate in their own rescue. You have a vehicle that will allow them to create their own job. You have products that people need. You have training and coaching where they'll be in business for themselves, but not by themselves. You have leadership of people who've proven that it's possible you can live your dreams. It's possible you got a shot at creating a fortune. Everybody's not going to do it. We can't predict performance. And all you are saying, hey, listen, here's an opportunity. And don't take it personal when people say no to you. They're not saying no to you. They're saying no to themselves. They're saying no to living a bigger life. They're saying no to what's going on in their head because they're suffering from possibility blindness. They can't see themselves doing more. They don't want to do that extra work. So they're saving you some time. They know they're trifling and don't want to work. Don't try and convince them to say yes. A person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. This is hard work. H-A-R-D and H-E-A-R-T. Hard work and heart work. You got to gut this out. You've got to know your vitamin. You've got to fail your way to success. You've got to be unstoppable. You have to operate like Willie Jolly, who said a setback is a setup for a comeback. You've got to be relentless when you're building a business. You've got to be able to have courage after you face rejection and again and again and again. After somebody tell you they're going to show up and then they don't come, they don't return your calls. It takes courage. You go out and start talking to people. It takes courage when creditors are breathing down your neck and family members saying, oh, there he goes again with another pyramid scheme. Am I making sense to you? What I'm doing. I didn't do this for 14 years because I didn't have the courage. I was afraid of being rejected because I don't have a college education. I had a tremendous inferiority complex and something else. In order to make this business successful, to go from a 9 to 5 to 5 until you faint, it's a different mindset. It requires a radical change. How many of you know that it's hard building a thriving residual income on a monthly basis? Raise your hands, please. Yeah. That's why most people won't say yes. It's much easier to complain about the economy. It's much easier to complain about our elected officials. It's much easier to talk about the recession. That's much easier. To come up with excuses and why you can't do it. That's where I was. That's why I set up station for a long time. My mentor said something to me, Mike Williams. I want you to write this down. He said, anybody can complain. He said, if you do what is easy, that's complaining. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. Come on now. That's strong medicine. If you do what is easy, complain about your situation, your circumstances. If you do what is easy, stand around and be a volunteer victim like everybody else. If you do what is easy, surrender and give up on your dreams. Become depressed and bitter and angry. Anybody can do that. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, keep coming back again and again and again. If you do what is hard, approaching strangers, talking to people in shopping malls, get up dressed every day, going out prospecting, knowing some way, somehow, with a spirit of expectation, somebody's out here looking for an opportunity. You can go outside right now and see some pigeons, but you're out hunting for eagles, and they're not common. And if you do that over and over and over again, somebody's going to show up. Somebody's going to say, I'm the one. Dr. Thurman, I love him so much. What a great writer. He said, there's something in each and every one of you that waits and listens to the voice of the genuine in yourself. It will be perhaps the only guide you will ever have. And if you cannot hear it, all of your life, your days will be spent on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. And I submit to you that you invested the time and money to go to the airport, to fly cross country. I suggest to you, some of you drove here. I suggest to you, you showed up because you said, I'm going to pull my own strings. I'm going to control my own life. Nobody will ever pull my strings again. Give yourselves a round of applause. I want you to write this down. Choosing your future. It's a program that we've created that's designed to put in place for you to work on yourself. A systematic process that changes your mindset. It's possible, it's necessary. It's you, it's hard, it's worth it, it's done. It's 6 CDs. Repeat after me, please. It's possible. Yeah, see, the easiest thing that I do now is come up on stage and speak to you. That's easy. But the most difficult thing that I've ever done, and it took me years to do, was to believe that I can do it. To believe that I could stand up and not be afraid and speak from my heart and think and be able to present. To believe that that was possible for me. For 14 years I didn't do it. Mike Williams said, Les, you can do more than what you're now doing. But I didn't believe it. I just couldn't see myself doing it. I'm saying to you, there's some things that you can accomplish that you can't see right now. My favorite book says, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor is entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you when you're willing to say yes, when you're willing to move forward, when you're willing to come back again and again and again in pursuit of your dream. Life will respond to you. You'll discover some things about yourself. Mindset transformation is very important. Be ye not conformed to this world. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You don't want to think like everybody else. You want uncommon thinking. Here's the other thing. Expand your skill set. This is the age of what the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's. Accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. So you have to expand your skill set to stay ahead of technology and cheap labor abroad. When I was a kid, you got on an elevator, I was an elevator boy. What floor, please? We operated elevators manually. So then we're going through creative destruction. Somebody created an elevator that didn't require a person being there employed to close the door and take the people to the designated floor. When I was a kid, girls would say, what do you want to do when you become an adult? I want to be an operator, a long-distance operator. Years ago, when you made a long-distance call, you had to call a long-distance operator. Then somebody created technology that you can dial direct. Am I making this up? Anybody remember you used that call a long-distance operator? It's called creative destruction. Somebody created technology that we don't have to do that anymore. So today, what multi-level marketing does allow you to secure your future, to stay ahead of technology and cheap labor abroad. You can hire a PhD or an MBA in the Philippines or India for $2.60 an hour. So what you're doing is you're staying ahead of the game because we're going through continuously creative destruction. I think about Mr. Washington. Young man, yes, sir. What do you want to do with your life? I want to buy my mother a home, sir. I want to take care of my mother. You do? Yes, sir. I want to make my mother proud. How can you say you want to make your mother proud and you were in the dean's office the other day for fighting? Sir, they called me DT, the dumb twin. So you're going to fight them? Yes, sir. Why, Brown? Why? Anger is the wind that blows out the lamp of the mind. How do I get even, sir? Tell me. They pick on me all the time because it takes me longer to learn things than others. I'm not like my sister at the University of Miami. I'm not like my brother. They always compare me to him. Mr. Brown, you want to get even? Yes, sir. He said, you have a good memory, young man. Yes, sir, I do. Yes, I do, sir. Remember these words by Frank Sinatra. The best revenge is massive success. Become massively successful. That's how you become even. Thank you, sir. Mr. Brown? Yes, sir. Why did you sign those papers? What are you talking about? You're the first student in special education that was labeled educable mental retarded, put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. You failed in the 8th grade. I fought for you. I saw something in you. You've got greatness in you. I know you're not as fast as your brother. I know you're not like Margaret Ann, your sister. But there's a hunger in you, sir. And I fought for you to get that, and I saw your name. I couldn't believe it when you signed it to somebody else. Why did you do that? Several teachers met with me and said that you wouldn't be with me at Florida A&M University to help me. Mr. Washington, he said, if I didn't make the honor roll at Booker T. Washington High School, I would not make it at Florida A&M. You've been like a father to me. I never would want to bring embarrassment to your name. Mr. Brown, I know it's harder for you. But once you learn something because of your hunger, you got it. You master it. He said, I don't care what they said. But did you believe that you could go there and graduate? To be honest with you, sir, no, sir. Not without you, sir. Mr. Brown? Yes, sir. Listen to me. Yes, sir. Sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. Sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. Whoever recruited you to become involved in their organization, they saw something in you. Whoever asked you to be a part of their team, they saw greatness in you. See, you need people in your life who can see things that you can't see. You want to find whoever got you in the business and say to them, thank you. I told Robert Boyd, who recruited me for Best Line Products, thank you, Bob. I don't know what you saw, but I'm not going to disappoint you. You find whoever recruited you, because you are looking for eagles in this business. You're not looking for people who need more. You're looking for people who want more. Let us say together, it's possible. Everybody together, it's possible. I can live my dreams. I will work on myself every day. I will retrain my thinking every day. I will listen to audio programs. I would read 10 to 15 pages of something positive every day. I will turn off my television and turn on my life. Let us say together, it's necessary to detoxify your life. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of you are serious about reaching your goals? Raise your hands, please. Very good. Jim Rohn asked this question. Look at the people in your life and ask the question, what is this relationship doing to me? See, in order for you to go to the next level, there are some people you need to let go. Let us say together, let go. Or be dragged. There are some people, because of their negativity, they're emotional vampires. They will drain you. You want to be around people that you can learn from, that you can grow from. Dr. Dennis Kimball out of Atlanta said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group. Les, can I change them? No. It's a full-time job changing yourself. There are some people that's comfortable being negative, comfortable being a volunteer victim. There are some people that's so negative they can walk into a dark room and begin to develop. Oh, behave. My medication wearing off now. When you're talking about earning more money, you got to be serious. One sickness can wipe out a fortune. 95% of the people who filed bankruptcy last year did so because of medical expenses. People say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves. A friend of mine, Rita Davenport, said money ain't important, but it's right up there with oxygen. And let me tell you something, fellas, even if you're as homeless as I am, you got some money, women will find something cute on you. Oh, he's got earlobes like Tom Cruise. He's got a walk like Denzel Washington. I used to be so broke I'd walk past a bank and trip the alarm. Creditors would call the house and my children would answer the phone and say, my daddy say he ain't home. And sometimes they would catch me on the phone. May I speak to Les Brown, please? Sorry, but he's not here. You sound like Les Brown. Don't you go there, big boy. Oh, my God. Red Fox said money can't buy you happiness, but it can make a big down payment. Oh. This thing called life. Here's something else. Write this down. You're going to fail your way to success. There are people who look promising. They're going to disappoint you, hurt your feelings. There are people who should be there to encourage you, to motivate you. They're going to be the number one members of the discouragement club. Before things get better for you, they're going to get real bad. When you have a dream, think it not strange that you'll face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might, you will have tribulations. How many of you know that's true? Raise your hands, please. Things will happen to you. And don't complain. Don't go around telling everybody. 80% don't care. 20% glad it's you. Suck it up. And keep on prospecting. And make it happen. Life is happening to everybody. Everybody, let us say together, leap and grow your wings on the way down. See, in order to control your destiny, you've got to be a risk taker. You got to be willing to risk people talking about you. You got to be willing to risk someone saying no. You got to be willing to fail again and again and again. You're different. You're an entrepreneur. You're strange. You're not like everybody else. We live in a world where we're told more about our limitations rather than our potential, and so most people just can't see themselves doing better. But you're different. You see some things they can't see. And I encourage you, every one of you in this room right now, you're here for a reason. How many of you know people who should be here? Raise your hands, please. Yes. But you know what? They're in their rightful place. Their rightful place is where their thoughts have brought them. Their true place is where their thoughts can take them. Everybody is in their rightful place. Here's something else. Seek out positive information. I want you to write this down. My Facebook page is brown.less. Every day we post a positive message there. Every day at brown.less. Because you're in this room, I want you to write this down. Because we're going to send you, we're going to do something called presentation power. And you're going to get a chance to view some videos that will give you some directions. But more importantly, I'll tell you what I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you 7 power strategies of how to be a powerful storyteller. So email me at yes@lesbrown.com and say, send me the 7 principles. Mention that you were at this convention. We'll send that to you free. It will give you a guideline how to tell your story. When I started off this presentation, I started off telling my story. I was born in the poor section of Miami, Florida, in Liberty City. Born in an abandoned building with a twin brother. Do you remember I told you that? My mother worked on Miami Beach as a domestic worker, making up beds, cooking for families. Remember I told you that? See, your story is your power. How many of you have gone through some things? Raise your hands, please. How many of you have experienced some things in your life? Raise your hands, please. How many of you have periods of your life like me where you're temporarily insane? Raise your hand, please. Your story. A presentation power will tell you how to tell your story. I've given lectures at Harvard, Yale, spoken around the world, telling my story. You got a story too. Here's what the power of the story does and why it's important in your presentation and building your organization and why it's going to give you the upper hand and how to recruit people and how many of you like to get A players? Raise your hands, please. Good. Here's what your story does. Write this down. Distract. See, how people live their lives is a result of the story they believe about themselves. When you're presenting one-on-one or a small group or in a large group, when you tell your story, you're creating an interruption. When you're telling your story about the business of being on a path of creating financial independence, you're interrupting their story, what psychologists call the self-explanatory style. So distract. Let us say together, distract. Here's the other one. Say dispute. When you are going through your presentation, and we're going to teach you how to do this, you're dismantling their limited belief system where they've been programmed to believe only in having a job, the journey of the broke, where they're miserable. They go to work, where they pay them just enough to keep them from quitting, and they work just hard enough to keep from getting fired. That's what you call mixed emotions. Seeing somebody you hate drive off a cliff in your car. You're glad they're gone, but not in my car. Can you feel me up in here? Up in here? Huh? Can you feel me? People go to jobs that they hate. 87% of Americans, and guess what? And they pray they don't get fired. That's no way to live. That's why you're here. You just said, you know what? No, I ain't going out like this. I'm telling you. And people think you're crazy, and you are. You got to be crazy today. You got to be out of your mind. My favorite book said, let that mind be in you. You got to have another mind in you that says, I got this. This is my life. I own this. I'm going to call the shots here. Nobody's going to tell me how much I'm worth, what time I can take a lunch break. I'm not going to anybody and ask for permission to take my family on vacation. No, I got this. I've got a vehicle I can take me to another place. That's why you said yes. Give yourselves a round of applause. Mr. Washington said, Mr. Brown, transform your mindset. Number 2, he said, practice. Let us say together, OQP. Write this down. Only quality people. Only quality people. You don't want everybody in your organization. You want only quality people. Here's something else he said. Mr. Brown, yes, sir. And this is what we're going to do in this presentation. That's called presentation power. He said, develop your communication skills. How you present yourself, how you sell yourself. He said, once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. And then he said something else. Let us say together with conviction. I want everybody to join me on this. Let us say together, you got to be hungry. Say it again, you got to be hungry. He said, what do you want to do with your life, young man? I said, sir, I want to buy my mother a home. He said, you got to be hungry. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, people that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do, in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. He said, people that are hungry are relentless. People that are hungry are unstoppable. People that are hungry refuse to give up. People that are hungry, no excuse is acceptable for not making their dream become a reality. I said, I'm hungry, sir. I'm hungry to take care of my mother. I'm hungry to make she'll never have to pay another bill once I turn 18. And she hasn't, Mr. Washington. Hungry, sir, for another life. I'm not going to die here in Liberty City. I want to travel, sir. I want to see the world. He said, you can do that, sir. He said, practice OQP, only quality people. If you run around with 9 broke people, he said, I guarantee you, you'll become number 10. He said, work on your mindset. Listen to these audio programs I'm giving you every day. Glenn Turner, Dare to Be Great, every day. Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, Jim Rohn, every day. Zig Ziglar, program your mind, Mr. Brown. He said, how do you plan to buy your mother a home? I said, sir, I want to become a disc jockey. He said, is that right? I said, yes, sir. He said, good. He said, work on your mind. Here are my car keys. What do you want me to do with this? At lunchtime, go in my car, turn on the radio, and listen to Paul Harvey. Why? He's the world's greatest communicator. You want to be successful? Yes, sir. He says, listen and study people that are great communicators. That's the key to controlling your future. I said, but that's at lunchtime. In order to be successful, you got to be hungry. You got to be willing to do the things today others won't do. Are you willing to do that to be successful? To buy your mother home? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what you have done. You've got some goals that you want to achieve. There's some things that you want to do. And you've said to yourself, I'm willing to face the no's. You said to yourself, I'm willing for people to laugh at me. You said to yourself, I'm willing to gut this out. You said to yourself, I'm willing to make this happen. You said to yourself, I'm going to do whatever it takes to build this business. I can do it. If anybody's ever done it at any point in time in history, then what's possible for one is possible for me, and I'm going to do it. That's what you said to yourself. He said, listen to Paul Harvey every day. So you want to be a disc jockey? Yes, sir. He said, I want you to create your format. What will your personality be? What style are you going to have? I said, wait a minute, sir. I want to be a disc jockey, but I don't have a job yet. And then he said something. He said, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. He said, you got to expect to become successful. Let us say together, I expect to win. I expect to increase my recruitment. I expect to be a great presenter. I expect to become a millionaire. It's my time. It's possible. It's necessary. It's me. It's hard. It's worth it. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. Your homework assignment is write down 5 reasons that will make it worth it for you. So when the tough times come, and they're going to come, when you feel like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that's a part of the process, your reasons will be your rod and staff to comfort you, to take you through the storms of life. He told me, you want to be a disc jockey, practice on your communication skills. Visualize yourself talking to thousands of people, Mr. Brown. See yourself on stage presenting. Be willing to invest in yourself. Warren Buffett was being interviewed by a financial analyst on CNN. He said, what's the most important investment a person can make today? Warren Buffett, a billionaire, has billions of dollars in the stock market, billions of dollars in real estate. He looked at the reporter and said, the most important investment you can make is in yourself. The reason you're here, the reason you invested your money, your time and energy and transportation and the room and all the costs in a so-called tough economy, because you have the mindset of a billionaire. You know, investing in yourself, you are your most treasured asset. Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on, bring your energy level up. So he said, Mr. Brown, I've done all that I can do for you. You've got to go out and face the music. You go with the things I've taught you and make it happen. I went to WMBM radio station on Miami Beach. Milton Butterball Smith was the program director. Hello, Mr. Butterball. My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, young man, you have any journalism in your background? No, sir, I don't. You have any experience in broadcasting? No, sir, I don't, but I practice every day. Let me audition for you. Let me show you how good I am. He says, no, we don't have any job for you. How many have been rejected? Raise your hands, please. I was devastated with rejection. I went back, Mr. Washington. I said, Mr. Washington. They said no. He said, don't take it personally. Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, you got to be hungry. Go back again. I said, yes, sir. I went back again. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, I know what your name is. Weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir. He said, then why are you back today? I said, well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. Don't want to laid off or fired. Now get on out of here. I came back the next day, talking loud, looking happy, like I was singing for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. He said, then why are you back today? I said, sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. He said, no one got sick or died. No one was laid off or fired. Now don't you come back here again. I came back the next day, talking loud, looking happy, like I was singing for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you? He looked at me with rage. He said, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. My favorite book said, the greatest among you will be your servant. So I became the errand boy for the disc jockeys. I was serving them. I'd go get their lunch and their dinner, and I'd come in the control room, watching them working the control room knobs and switches, knowing my time will come. Let us say together, my time will come. When I'll be a top producer. And when I'll come up on stage, and they call my name because of my accomplishment. My time will come because I'm going to put forth the effort. And so on the weekends when the disc jockeys would come out to the parking lot, the cars would be clean inside out. They said, hey, who did this? I did, sir. How much do you charge, young man? Oh, nothing, sir. I just wanted to help out. Write this down. Build relationships. Build relationships. Give before you ask people to come into your business. Find some way to compliment them. Talk to them, ask them questions, find out what's important to them, what's stressing them out, what keeps them up at night, what drives them, what they value. Don't advance with the business. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. That's why you want to tell the story and ask key questions. You want to be strategic and experiential. Write this down. You have an energy signature. People are feeling you out. They're listening to you. They're watching you. And so, it said, look, here are my car keys, young man. Donna Ross and the Supremes are coming to town, the Four Tops and the Temptations. I want you to pick them up at the airport and take them to the Fontainebleau Hotel on Miami Beach. It is my pleasure to serve you, sir. I would drive these entertainers all over Miami Beach in the disc jockey's big long Cadillacs. I didn't have any driver's license, but I'll drive it like I had some. Then one day, it's a Saturday afternoon, a disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. Rockin' Roger got so drunk, he could not complete the show. He began to slur his words. He's about to fall off the chair. It's a Saturday afternoon, and I was the only one there, looking at him through the control room window, walking back and forth, young, ready, and hungry. I was saying, drink, rock, drink. Drink, rock. I'd have gone and get him some more if he'd asked me to. Then pretty soon the phone rang. It was a general manager. I said, hello? He said, young boy, this is Mr. Clyde. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish the program. I said, I know. He said, will you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up and said, now he must think I'm crazy. I called my mama and my girlfriend, Cassandra. I said, y'all come out on the front porch, turn up the radio. I'm about to come on the air. I waited for about 20 minutes and I called him back. I said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and segue the records, but don't you say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get old Rock out of the way. I put on a fast record. I said, look out, this is me, LB, Triple P. Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle. Certified, bona fide, duly qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. Give the old man a round of applause. I was hungry. I was hungry. I was hungry. You got to be hungry. Shake someone's hand on your right and left and say, you got to be hungry. Do that right now. Shake somebody else's hand. Say, you got to be hungry. People that are hungry believe if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. People that are hungry believe what Zig said when he said, if you give enough people what they want, they will give you what you want. People that are hungry believe always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. People that are hungry are uncommon people. They say yes to their dreams. They say yes to an opportunity where they can develop their entrepreneurial skills, where they can develop their mind and their leadership skills, where they can become versatile and flexible and create and build a business they can be proud of. People that are hungry have a vision of themselves when they leave here, leaving a legacy and not liabilities. People that are hungry understand that most people die at age 25 and don't get buried till they're 65 because they're not willing to take a chance on themselves. People that are hungry are a rare breed. They're risk takers. I don't know what you want to do. Seemed like yesterday when I was the new kid on the block. Now at 68, I'm the old timer. I used to think people in their 40s were old. Now that I'm 68, I feel like I served at the Lord's Supper. And I know I look young for 68 because I used mascara to cover my gray hair. I was over there asking Maria, I said, Marita, can you have any of this mascara? She said, oh, you look just fine. My kids say, Daddy, you look distinguished with your gray hair. I said, 68, I'm not trying to look distinguished. I'm trying to look young. I got to tell you this story. Don't tell anybody, please. I gave this speech at the Georgia Dome. And after I finished, it's called It's Not Over Till I Win. And after I finished, somebody came back and said, Mr. Brown, I know you're tired, and our speaker canceled. Do you have enough energy to do another program? I said, no, I'm tired. He said, we can pay your full fee of $25,000. I said, the Lord is able. So they took me over to the Georgia World Congress Center. And it was an intimate setting. People were very close to the stage. So I looked in the room, and then I went to the restroom and got my little Mademoiselle mascara out to cover my grape, have a mustache and everything. So I came in the room. The lady wanted everybody to know that she knew me. So she said, there he is, Les Brown. I came up on the stage. She holds her cheek out for me to kiss it. I kissed her on the cheek and left this big black smudge on her face. I said, oh my God. So I didn't know what to do, so I just sat down. So the people down front started saying, there's something on your face. She looks at me, she said, what are they saying? I said, I don't know. Then one nosy lady went over there, opened up her pocketbook, and gave her a mirror. Now, nobody asked her to do that. Getting in the Kool-Aid, don't know the flavor. She looks and see the big black smudge on her face. She said, how did this get here? I said, I don't know. You think maybe some of this rubs off? Well, the reason I'm telling you this, don't worry if I kiss you today, because Marie said, you don't need it. You'll be just fine. You look distinguished. Whatever. How many of you like to learn how to improve your presentation skills? Raise your hand. We're going to do a webinar that will walk you through a process and teach you how to tell your story so you can speak in your community on a volunteer basis and be able to make a difference. How many of you like to make a difference with your story? Raise your hands. Very good. We will show you how to do this. I've been doing this now for 40 years. I love and admire Eric Worre for who he is, me as a friend, but the passion that he has in giving you the tools that you need, not just the mindset, but the skill set of what it takes to build a strong multi-level marketing business. I can tell you, based upon my experience, and he's not paying me to be here. He's got a blue light special going on up in here. This is my friend that I love him. There are few people who can call me, and I'll get on a flight and only had 4 hours of sleep to come in to speak. I was very subdued and conservative today, but I love and admire him. But if you're serious about your story, make sure you email me and put in there the 7 story principles. Put that in there, and we will email this to you free at lesbrown.com. I'd like to leave this with you. After leaving Zig's memorial yesterday, who was a great man, who contributed so much to so many people, I said, God, let me touch and change millions of people's lives like Zig has done. Let me make my mark like he made an incredible mark. Let me touch hearts and minds like he touched me when I first saw him. And I drove many miles, 400 and 500 miles, to see him and Jim Rohn and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Charlie Tremendous Jones. Let me be an instrument to give people hope, to inspire them to expand their skill set, to encourage them to create collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. God, let me live a life that counts, that means something to people. God, help me to be able to inspire people like Mr. Washington inspired me, like Mike Williams, my mentor for the past 43 years, who saw something in me I could not see in myself, who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Please let me live a life that matters. I want to leave this with you. This stage of my life, my goal is to train 100,000 speakers who will have one message: hope, skill set, and collaborative relationships that will change how people think, how they feel, and how they act. 100,000 people outside of religion and outside of politics, both of which I believe polarize and divide people. 100,000 ordinary people who want to live an extraordinary life. God, give me the stamina and the vision to use my gift that you have given me to work with people who are hungry to make their lives count. I want to leave this with you that my mother used to love to say to me when she was in pain. Leslie, yes ma'am. Come in here. Yes ma'am, mama. What is it, baby? Say that thing for me, boy. That makes me feel good. Yes ma'am, mama. My mother's dream was to raise 7 children she didn't have, to make sure we had a roof over our head and food on the table. And she never failed. We never went to sleep hungry. She's a hard worker and she had faith. I remember the first home I bought her in, this home she saw. I said, Mama, how you like this? She said, if I lived in something like that, I would feel like Mrs. Rockefeller. She didn't know I had planned to get that home for her. I purchased the home and I said, Mama, I think I know the people who live there. You do? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I'm going to stop in and say hello. And I drove there and I opened the door. And she got out, and Mama at that time, around 76, she held my arm and we were walking toward the house. She looked at how beautiful this house was. She said, Leslie, you sure you know these people? Yes, ma'am, Mama, I do. And we got to the door, and I couldn't hold it anymore. I reached in my pocket, I took the key out, and I put it in the door. I said, Mrs. Rockefeller, this is your home.